My name is James. I want to tell you about my trip to Italy. For my whole life, I dreamed about visiting Italy. I saw pictures of it in books. I saw its beautiful cities in movies. I always said to myself, one day I will go there. The dream started when I was a kid. My mom showed me a photo of Venice. The water looked like glass. I wanted to see it for real. Years passed. I worked hard at my job. I saved every coin I could. Last year, that day finally came. I bought a plane ticket. I packed a small bag with clothes and a camera. I went on a big adventure all by myself. My plane landed in Rome. The air was warm and smelled of delicious food. I took a taxi to my hotel. It was a small hotel on a quiet street. The owner was a friendly old man who gave me a big smile. His name was Antonio. He spoke little English. He showed me to my room. My room was simple, but it was clean and nice. A small window opened to a garden. I felt so excited. My Italian adventure was finally starting. On my first day, I wanted to see everything. I put on my best walking shoes and started to explore. Rome is like a giant museum. Every corner has a story. The buildings are so old and beautiful. The stones were worn by time. The sound of church bells was everywhere. It felt like I was walking back in time. My first big stop was the Colosseum. It is a huge old stadium in the middle of the city. I stood in front of it for a long time. It was bigger than any picture. The walls were tall and rough. I walked inside. The sun was hot on my face. I closed my eyes and listened. I tried to imagine the place full of people thousands of years ago. I thought about the brave gladiators. I saw them fighting in my mind. It was a very strong feeling. I took many photos. My camera clicked again and again. A guide nearby spoke to a group. He said the Colosseum held battles and shows. I listened and learned. It made the place feel alive. After the Colosseum, I was very hungry. I walked and walked. My feet hurt a little. I found a small family restaurant. It was in a little alley. The alley was narrow and full of shadows. An old woman was cooking in the kitchen. Her apron was stained with sauce. The smell was wonderful. It was like tomatoes and bread mixed together. I decided to eat there. I went to Italy for a dream vacation, but my dream soon became a little strange. I sat down at a small table. The table wobbled a bit. A young waiter came to me. His name was Luca. He was very friendly, but he did not speak English. I did not speak Italian. I looked at the menu. It was full of words I did not know. The letters looked funny to me. I decided to be brave. I closed my eyes and pointed to a random word on the menu. Luca looked at what I pointed to. A huge smile spread across his face. He said, "Ah, bravo! Good choice." He seemed very happy with my choice. I was a little worried. What did I order? A few minutes later, he came back with my food. It was a plate of spaghetti, but it was the biggest plate of spaghetti I had ever seen. It was a mountain of pasta. The plate was so full it almost fell over. Luca put the plate on my table. He looked very proud. He said, "Enjoy." I just looked at the food. It was enough for a whole family. I started to laugh. Luca laughed with me. It was the best spaghetti of my life. The tomato sauce was so fresh and sweet. The pasta was soft and warm. I could not finish it all, but I left that restaurant with a full stomach and a funny story. The next day, I wanted to see the Trevi Fountain. The map in my hand looked easy, but the streets of Rome are a puzzle. I got lost, very lost. I walked for over an hour under the hot sun. My shirt was wet with sweat. I was tired and unhappy. My legs felt heavy. I saw a very old woman sitting on a chair. She was selling beautiful flowers. The flowers were red and yellow. I decided to ask her for help. I walked up to her. I tried my best to speak Italian. I pointed to the fountain on my map. I said, "Fountain? Where?" She looked at me with kind eyes. Her face was full of lines. She did not speak English, but she understood. She gave me a warm, gentle smile. She did not just point. She stood up slowly. Her knees creaked a little. She closed her little flower stand. She said one simple word, "Come." She walked with me. She led me through many little streets. The streets twisted like a maze. After about 10 minutes, I heard the sound of water. And then I saw it, the Trevi Fountain. It was so beautiful. Water sparkled in the sunlight. People threw coins into it. I was so thankful. I took out my wallet to give her some money for her help, but she shook her head. She patted my arm, smiled again, and walked away. I stood by the fountain for a while. I threw a coin in too. I made a wish. I wished to come back to Italy someday. After my great time in Rome, I took a train to Venice. The train ride was a wonderful part of the trip. I sat by the window. I watched the beautiful Italian country go by. I saw green hills, fields of sunflowers, and old stone houses. The train moved slow and steady. It was so peaceful. Venice was even more magical than I thought. A city with no cars, only boats. The main streets are canals full of water. The water was green and calm. It felt like I was in a different world. I took a ride in a gondola. The gondolier was a tall man with a black hat. He moved the long black boat through the quiet canals. He sang a beautiful Italian song. His voice was soft and clear. The sun was setting. The sky turned orange and pink. It was a perfect moment. I took photos of the canals. The water reflected the colors of the sky. I felt happy and calm. The next day, my perfect dream became a nightmare. I was on a crowded water bus. The bus was full of people. I was looking at the beautiful old houses. The houses leaned over the water. When the bus stopped, I got off. I reached into my pocket for my wallet. It was not there. My heart stopped. I checked all my other pockets, my jacket, my pants, everywhere. It was gone. In the most beautiful city in the world, I was alone, lost, and had no money. Panic is a cold, bad feeling. My money was gone. My credit cards were gone. My train ticket was gone. Everything was gone. My passport was safe, but that was all. I felt so helpless. I went to the police. The police station was small and busy. The police officer was nice, but he could not help me much. He took my report. He wrote my name and story on a paper. He said it was a common problem. Pickpockets work fast in Venice. I walked back to my hotel slowly. My feet dragged on the ground. I felt so stupid. I sat on a bench in a small square. The square was empty. I put my head in my hands. I did not know what to do. Tears came to my eyes. Then I heard a friendly voice say my name. "James, is that you?" I looked up. It was a man named Oliver. I met him on the train from Rome. We had a nice chat about travel. He was with his family. His wife was Clara. Their 2 kids ran around him. He saw my sad face. He asked, "My friend, what is wrong? You look like you have a big problem." I was so sad. I told him everything. I told him about my stolen wallet. My voice shook as I spoke. He listened very carefully. He looked at Clara. She gave him a small nod. Oliver turned back to me with a big, warm smile. He put his hand on my shoulder. He said, "Do not worry, James. Tonight you are our guest. You will eat dinner at our home." I could not believe his kindness. I was a stranger. That night I went to their apartment. It was a small place, but it was full of love and laughter. The walls had family photos. Their 2 children showed me their favorite drawings. The drawings were of boats and fish. Clara was a wonderful cook. She made a delicious meal called lasagna. The cheese was melted and golden. We ate and talked for hours. They asked about my home. I told them about my small town. They shared stories of Venice. The kids giggled and played. I felt like part of their family. The next day, Oliver was my hero. He took me to an office to call my bank. The office was loud with phones ringing. He helped me get some emergency money. The bank sent cash after many calls. He helped me buy a new train ticket. He spent his whole morning helping me. He waited with me at the ticket counter. I tried to pay him back, but he would not take my money. He gave me a big hug. He said, "In Italy, friends are more important than money. You are our friend now." I thanked him with tears in my eyes. Clara packed me a lunch to take. It was bread and fruit. I felt so grateful. I spent my last few days in Italy with a new feeling in my heart. I still loved the art and the history, but now I also loved the people. Their warmth and their great kindness changed me. I visited more places in Venice. I saw the St. Mark's Basilica. The church was full of gold in paintings. I took photos of the domes. I walked across the Rialto Bridge. The bridge was crowded with shops. I bought the small glass bird as a memory. The glass sparkled like the water. Every step felt lighter with Oliver's help. On the plane back home, I looked at my pictures. I had pictures of the Colosseum. I had pictures of the canals in Venice. I had photos of the fountain and the bridge, but my best memories were not in the pictures. They were in my heart. The memory of the kind flower lady, the memory of Oliver and his beautiful family. I learned that a trip is not just about the places you see, it is about the people you meet. That was my adventure in Italy. It was a wonderful country. But my story does not end there. When I got home, I told my friends about Italy. They were amazed. One friend, Peter, asked to see my photos. He loved the glass bird. He said, "You should go back and bring me one." I laughed. I started saving again. I wanted to return to Italy. I missed the food and the people. One night, I had a dream. I saw Oliver and Clara waving at me. Their kids ran with flowers. I woke up smiling. I wrote a letter to Oliver. I found his address from a note he gave me. I thanked him again. I sent a photo of the glass bird. Weeks later, a reply came. Oliver wrote, "Come back soon, friend. We miss you." His words made me happy. I planned my next trip. This time, I would bring gifts. I would take Peter with me. We would eat lasagna together. I would show him the fountain. My love for Italy grew stronger. I also learned from my mistakes. I bought a money belt for my next trip. I practiced a few Italian words. Grazie means thank you. Ciao means hello or goodbye. I wanted to talk to people better. I watched Italian movies to learn. I cooked pasta at home. It was not as good as Luca's, but I tried. My friends liked it. They asked for more. I felt proud. Italy changed me. It taught me to be brave. It taught me to trust strangers. It gave me friends I never expected. Now I dream of other places. I think about Spain with its beaches. I think about France with its towers. But Italy will always be my first love. Which story do you want to hear next? Spain or France? Tell me and I will share.